Hi, this is Diana Watt. Tonight I had the pleasure of interviewing Sandy Draghi of the Amazing Race 19, and we talked about her experiences on the race, how life has been since the race is finished, and what she's expecting out of Amazing Race 20. Now, the sound levels were a little low for Sandy, so my volume's going to be a little high for you. I already know, but I wanted you to be able to hear what Sandy had to say. So, here's my interview with Sandy. So, hi Sandy, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. So I like to do interviews a couple months after people have been off a show so that you get the perspective of a person who's gone off a reality show and goes back to regular life, because that's what happens with most reality people. And I think the answers are a little different, because you know how it is when you get off a reality show and you get peppered with one interview after another and they're the exact same questions over and over and over again.
Yes.
Yes. How annoying is that?
It's not too bad.
It's not too bad. Okay. So, what is it like to return to regular life after you've done something like this?
It's been a little bit of an adjustment. My life is at work is pretty demanding, so I definitely wish that I could have a little bit more freedom in my days. So, like going on the Amazing Race, there is a different aspect of every single day. And back home now, I'm in Groundhog Day again, which is difficult.
Right. So, what's it like watching the show while you're living your regular life?
It's weird because you'll see people and they think, "Oh my gosh, how are you here? I thought you were in Indonesia." But it was fun. It's interesting how they do edit you. There's parts, huge parts, huge storylines that they can't all fit in. But it was exciting for us to watch.
Okay.
Watch kind of how everything unfolded.
Were you pleased with the way they edited you?
Yeah, I can't say I was terribly disappointed. I think every single person is cast for a different role. And I definitely think Jeremy and I were cast for this newly dating couple who was, learning about one another. And that's what we did. And I think it showed how our dynamic changed over the course of 30 days, how we butted heads in the beginning and we kind of figured out our stride towards the end. So, I thought we got a fair edit. There was probably times in there that I blew up that I was shocked and kind of happy at the same time that they did not air. But we're happy with it. I mean, it's reality television, so you have to go into it with the mindset that they can edit you however you want.
Right. What was the moment during the race where you think it clicked for you and Jeremy and the arguing subsided and the working together got better?
I would say after Bangkok was our roughest leg, Bangkok in Thailand. So that was, midway through, we really hit a wall and we had to take a time out, kind of off camera, take a time out and say, look, is this worth going through? Or is this not gonna work out? So we took a step back, kind of gathered everything, took in some advice that we received from, Bill and Kathy, Andy and Tommy, and we slowed down, try to enjoy the things that we were doing and seeing. And once we did relax a little bit, we had more fun, and then we're able to, connect better as a team.
And things are going good for you now, right?
Yes,
good.
Yes, things are. Yeah, we moved in. Things are going really well.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
So you mentioned other teams. Do Amazing Race people keep in touch afterwards?
Yes, all of us are very close.
And it's a very friendly group.
It is, yes.
Because you've shared something. Some other reality shows are not quite as friendly with each other after the show ends, but it seems that the Amazing Race has a reputation for having happy, what would you call them? Graduates.
Yeah.
So, anyhow.
So with this show, the dynamics of everybody, yes, you are competing against one another, but ultimately you guys, everybody there shares something pretty amazing. Just the experiences, the life lessons that you take away from that show, we all share that same feeling. We all share the same feeling of, we saw extreme poverty, we saw wealth, we saw people that touched our lives. We all experienced that together. So, minus all of the competition aspect of it, the 11 of us teams can take away that same message of what the Amazing Race gives you.
Right. It's a pretty small world when you come down to it. People are pretty much people everywhere.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So what was the one moment that really touched you during the race?
I've told a lot of my patients coming back. I think the biggest kind of standout for me was we were on that bus from Lilongwe to Salima in Africa. This was in Malawi. And we were crowded in this bus. I don't think they got a very good photo of it, but I think that the occupancy of this bus was, I don't know, say 100 people. There was 250 individuals on that. A lot of children, children without clothing, shoes. You can tell were very, very malnourished. Everybody on that, probably a quarter of the people had HIV, disease-ridden. It was very, very sad. And, you sit in that bus and you stare out the window, and for miles and miles and miles and miles and miles, you don't see anything but dirt and people walking around trying to find, live off of the land. And we stopped maybe halfway there to use the restroom, which is just a bush on the side of the road. And there was a fruit stand that some of the locals stopped to get some food at. And we got back on the bus, and the woman that I was sharing a seat with, there was probably 4 of us in one seat, looked at me, and here I am, an American. I have Nike tennis shoes on and, Lululemon pants and a backpack, looks at me, and she has no shoes on her feet, nothing, and bought a bundle of bananas and offered me one. And I was absolutely blown away. The fact that here she is looking at this American who she probably thinks has some wealth or, is traveling to her country. And she doesn't have a penny in her pocket, but she wants to offer me a banana because she has more than one. And that lesson, it absolutely blew my mind. The fact that, and I relate it back to here and, think about the public transportation or the BART system here in the Bay Area. I would never take a train and someone would offer me anything, let alone their seat, but this woman wanted to give me a banana. So there are very, very kind people that have very little that are willing to share a lot.
So a great respect for other people in other countries.
Absolutely.
And a newfound gratitude for what you have here.
Yes, I have too much. Not that I have too much, but yeah, it's funny. Jeremy and I have had 2 garage sales since we've been home. We've definitely minimized our lives. The rat race that you live here in the United States, trying to have everything. We are trying to do the opposite and cut back.
I'm kind of with you there. I don't have all the fanciest, like smartphones. No, we don't have that. I say, regular phone, cell phone works just fine. You'll be fine without it, and I have 3 kids, and they're quite used to the fact that they're not going to have the latest and greatest, and they're okay with it because that's the way we are. Okay, so I want to get on to some a little bit of questions that I have about the race itself. And how tired are you? How much sleep a day do you get?
Not much. You really don't. You'll go a period of time for maybe 24, 30 hours without much food or sleep. So you're exhausted.
That affects how you work on the competitions together too.
And, you're cranky.
You're cranky.
So you miss a meal here, you're cranky. You miss 6 in a row when you're racing.
Right. Okay. So long hours. The other question I had is, it seems to me that Amazing Race, you used to have to find your own sleeping arrangements every night. They don't do that anymore, do they? You always stay in a pit stop with people. Is that correct?
Correct. Yes.
So that's provided for you.
Unless you're traveling, unless it's a flight, you find a spot in the airport.
Right.
Or.
But the pit stops are arranged sleeping quarters now.
Yes.
Right.